Okay, so today we're gonna dive into a story that honestly feels like it's straight out of a movie. It's about a journey from having absolutely nothing to building a massive success, all with the power of the internet. Let's get right into it.
So, the whole story really kicks off at an absolute low point. He was completely broke, felt like he had zero options, and then, well, something happened. This one line kind of says it all, doesn't it? So let's figure out what that "this" actually was.
But before we get to the good part, we have to start at the beginning. To really understand how big the breakthrough was, you first have to see what rock bottom really looked like.
And when we say broke, we're not talking about just waiting for your next paycheck. No, this was a total dead end. It was that feeling of being completely cut off, with no money, no resources, and no idea what to do next.
Just look at that. $10. That was it. That wasn't just being low on cash. That was his entire net worth. No job, no safety net, absolutely nothing else to fall back on. That single number, that was his reality.
And you know, being that broke brings on a different kind of poverty, a social one. It felt like he was invisible. People just looked right through him, which only piled on this deep, crushing sense of being totally alone.
But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom, right? There's really only one way to go from there, and that's up. And it almost never starts with some miracle. It starts with one single choice. Which brings us to the most important part of this story.
This is the moment, the pivot point for the entire story. It's a huge reminder that these massive transformations in life don't always need some huge event. Sometimes, all it takes is one small internal shift, just one decision.
So what was it? What was that one choice that could take him from having just $10 and being totally isolated to the success that was coming his way? Just think about it for a second. What would you have done in that situation?
Okay, now we get to the climb. And let me be clear, this next part isn't about magic, it's about the work. It's about that slow, determined process of clawing your way up from absolute zero. And there it is. That was the decision. It wasn't to wait for some lucky break or ask for a handout. It was to invest the one thing he actually had left, his time. He just opened his laptop and committed to learning a new, valuable skill from scratch.
Now this timeline is so important because it proves this was no overnight success. Month 1 was purely about making that commitment. By month 3, he was deep in the grind. We're talking long nights, just studying and practicing. And look, the breakthrough, his very first results, didn't even show up until 6 months later. This was a marathon, not a sprint.
So after that incredibly tough climb, you finally get the reward. You get the view from the top. Let's take a look at the new reality that all of that dedication and hard work created.
After all those months of focused work, it happened. That first email, that first payment hitting his account. Can you even imagine that feeling? It's way more than just money. It's proof. It's the validation that all of those late nights actually meant something. That his one decision really did change everything. And it didn't just stop there. Oh no. That first little bit of income was just the beginning. It grew, and it grew fast. All the way from a grand total of $10 to a consistent $10,000 per month. That is the incredible power of one single decision followed by a whole lot of consistent effort.
So as we wrap this up, the story kind of turns the question back on us, you know? It's not just about his journey anymore, it's about ours. When you see a transformation like that, from $10 to 10 grand a month, it has to make you think, what's the one decision, that one commitment that could completely change your story?